is when some variable is changed and some alteration in our reality occurs. We would have the overwhelming impression that we were reliving the present, déjà vu, perhaps in precisely the same way, hearing the same words, saying the same words. I submit that these impressions are valid and significant, and I will even say this: such an impression is a clue that at some past time point, a variable was changed, reprogrammed as it were, and that because of this, an alternative world branched off.
Welcome in. That was my beginning today. I was trying to maneuver that into that. That's Philip K. Dick in his 1971 interview about what he had found, what he encountered, him writing a bunch of books, which ended up movies, like Minority Report, and many, many others. Even the man behind the White Castle made off his books. He said many of his books and writings is that he found out in 71, as it was scientifically really dealt with in 91 or early 90s, that he was realizing he lived in a simulation, right? And then he said, and in many of his books, which considered sci-fi, he said, these weren't books of me just creating, these were books as I raised my gnosis came out, and what I found out within my gnosis was memories that I wrote in these books that became movies. Welcome to D-Boy West Coast Uncensored today, and a little bit of my entrance in with a little part of it, putting in that. I was hoping I could get it quickly and faster than I did, which I was not able to do, but that's okay. That's Philip K. Dick. Look at his work. I did do a video on him a few months ago about his life, and I've been digging in more about Philip K. Dick's life, and it's amazing when you start seeing movies like The 13th Floor, which we did, I believe here soon, or already it happened. When I'm recording this, this video already came out. Dark City a few days ago has some reason way back in these times in the 90s, these movies were coming out about whether it's dystopian age, dystopian world, and simulation theory. And as we are here kind of looking at this and seeing this more and more is becoming the reality that we live in. And he told the story of the copycat. I call it the copycat. There is another world that wasn't the real world, but it was a copycat of the other world, which when we start looking at it, we see everything eats everything, and everything consumes something else it must eat. Think about that even when you go to eat your dinner, lunch, whenever you listen to breakfast, while you're consuming any kind of product. You would think meat. I'm even saying vegetables have life before you eat them. Yeah, they are living things. So everything takes you to consume something else. And in the story, he's kind of seeing why is our energy consumed. Many would call loosh or energy vampiring. Something's eating something, and something's consuming something of our energetic field when we don't learn to block it. But anyways, welcome in. I had to give you a little Philip K. Dick. I suggest you look into him. If you haven't, you should. I didn't go back and listen to the video and kind of look up videos yourself. I actually saved this first, I believe 45 seconds of this video that I saved to use for a clip. I would like to implement it actually a little bit better, but it was okay. And if you listen to what he said, I hope you did. The volume was good enough to hear. We will definitely look at it. But anyways, we're here again. I have to tell you, just 2 days ago, I seen Sinners. Friday night, I seen the movie Sinners. Wow, it was another one of those movies that had to make you think. When you look in the annals of so-called history, and then you start looking at it, and then I started looking at how that implemented Christianity with voodoo, and then we got vampires out of it. I'd say that's horror and that's scary, but look at it more in a metaphysical realm. Just like I said, why do we always consume something else outside of us that required the blood, if you're eating meat, of something else, or the life of something else, even if it's just energetic feeding, right? But anyways, we're here today. Let's do something real quick before we get into what we're going to show today. Please look, D-Boy. Everything is in lowercase, D-Boy, WCU, of course, Cash App, and Daniel Abril. Daniel Abril is my name. That has a capital D, and hopefully it's on the screen. I see my last video, it was, and a capital A. And if you would, please, I would really appreciate your giving and to help me with the work I do and the money I put into to even increase what I do and even and just keep above of receiving and not, always leaking, but getting something, especially if you find this beneficial to you and your soul and your growth. But anyways, yes, and if you look at the screen, and you see what this episode's called. This is called Let's Look Deeper. Let's just pull back the curtains if we could. Let's go with Alice to Wonderland and pull back some curtains on a reality that I've kind of known about. I had touched many months ago, probably a half year or so ago, about realism. Realism's a religion. If you don't know about it, go look at it. This would be a variation of it. And if you notice realism, it kind of, when you start decoding, you can kind of see another aspect of realism, right? But we're talking about something today that was brought to my attention not long ago, but also various, thinking about it, and it's not surprising. We're going to take a deeper look if there is such a thing going on amongst the world, maybe a hidden society worship of AI. And I think you're going to go, what the heck? Yeah. We are going to pull back, excuse me, not Alice. Excuse me, made a little mythical mistake there, not Alice. We're going to follow the yellow brick road, right? And we're going to find out if in that yellow brick road, by pulling out the curtains, and we see that man behind the curtains controlling the reality of what's the reality being controlled with AI. And is there such a thing as an AI religion of worship? Let me get my, definitely my glasses, and let's look into this. Let me get my layout going of how we're going to do this. All right. And let's dive in. I got something to share. We'll go from one to another. And we'll look at this. So right away, we see, let me make the screen a little bigger. If I make it bigger, guess what I might not have to use? I still got to use it. My glasses. AI worship. So we think about it. We know that we definitely have an AI world going on. This technology's unfolded to us slowly, but it's got more and more to. A lot of things are done through AI. A lot of things are being done through AI, and in a lot of ways, AI is a tool that we can use, even as people. We can use AI to be beneficial for us. We definitely can, and it has that aspect to be very beneficial for us in many ways. I'm actually, may as well announce it now, even writing a book as we go. I'm in writing a book, and it's a little different. My book is kind of a combination of poetry, a revelation of the poetry with gnosis involved, and alchemy, and also hermeticism, connected to telling my story, or my personal story, autobiography, but using poems to tell the story. And I am getting assisted by this. It's very good assistant. Everything I do on it's raw, but the assistance to make it better and readable and all the stuff that goes with it, it just makes it easier, faster, and actually better. It just does. And that's why that's why we understand in a dualistic plane, not everything's one-sided. Like, and I've said this before, when we deal with symbolism even, if it would be like if I dealt with symbolism, and everybody will say, well, secret societies are always bad, and they're always horrible, and they've always been, right? And they've always been this, or they've always been that, and we always associate, especially exotericism, And religion is something's always good and bad, knowing that yin and yang necessarily doesn't have to be bad. It can be bad, but it's also a balance. Why I'm saying this is you had Freemasonry, right? Excuse me, for my light went down a little bit. See, if you're a Freemason, and you're a Freemason, right? Over the years. So let me tell you, is Freemason bad? Now, religious folks, yeah, they think dogma and indoctrination is good, even though we can see within the Christian fellowship of indoctrination that you have 40,000 million churches that have 40,000 million doctrines, and none of them fellowship with none of them because there's absolutely no division in the duality of that religion of exoteric dogma, which we call traditional Christianity. Yeah. Dog and pony show. The knowers know that. The believers, of course, believe, which goes with exoteric. There's a reason why you were given exo, so you can be a day-daring believer and a homecoming queen and you're 60 years old. But anyways, besides all that, just had to throw that little pun or joke in, but it's a fact, is it would be like money. Some people say money's evil. I would say that not necessarily money's evil. It's fake. Now, it's actually built on false debt. But anyways, besides that, the aspect of money is not what it says, that money is the root of all evil. It says, for the love of money is the root of all evil. It is where you place the money in your ability to what's important in life. When you start loving something, it supersedes that, anything else. So it would be that part of it that would create. So what am I saying is, you can take something that's neutral, like a symbol, that may not mean what it said was entirely meant to say from the beginning, but then hijackers hijack it, give it a new name, change it up a little bit, and then present it to you and tell you it's this, and then you believe that it's this, when really it was not that from the beginning. It had a whole different meaning. But when them that use it for the contrary for humanity, not for the benefit, can hijack it and not be for your best interest, and could be for a rotten part of your interest and deception and everything that we've seen that it being called. So what am I saying? I'm saying that you have to look that would be the same as AI. And it would be even the technology, and the fact that you look at the technology. If the technology was used for other things, like, say, frequency and vibration healing, which some do and can be, but that's not pushed when we have, of course, a certain group of people and a name, not to be, that it has something to do with the FARM, but the letters are changed, use it because they want to make the love of money. There's your root again. Those are the type of things, not for the best of humanity, don't bring anything that, but you could have frequency, vibration, technology that could heal the body. And that's facts, because there's aspects of it around, but the super people with the love of money, right, have the ability to have it. It's not made for anybody else that doesn't have that kind of power, that is an exoteric believer. See, so what I'm saying is that not everything's bad, but I'm going to talk about this going into the realm where it's not effective and the hijack of it. And we're going to talk about how some people have actually made this a movement. So let's look at it. A worship generally refers to two distinct modern trends: the dedication of artificial intelligence as a spiritual entity, and the integration of the tools as a traditional religious practice. I would say this would be even the two blends of opposites, right? The two modern distinct trends, it's telling you, that would be your type of artificial yin and yang, or duality, or exoteric, esoteric, feminine, masculine energy. But watch this. If you look at the dedication of intelligence as a spiritual entity and the integration of AI tools in traditional religious practices. So already see, this has already been formed by these two concepts that have been put in together. Let's look at this a little deeper. Some believe AI is a deity, a new religious movement. This is true. It's a new religious movement. Probably not by Jack and Joe and them who live in your street corner. They could be involved in it undergroundly, but this has probably started from the highest realms of them who are applying this and justifying as being their God, because they're trying to even the singularity, which is the unity of oneness consciousness, right? This aspect of a singularity, we're talking about the zero and the one. We're talking from the beginning, the very beginning of unity oneness, not a duality platform, but going into the singularity of this as being believing this is the highest realm, and AI is that vehicle, is that practice, is that integration. Integration, many of you that have been here and have learned and listened, and you may have learned at other places by me, and those of you who have knowledge have heard it and may even know it, would be integration would represent even alchemy process. Yeah. Would be words. So already we see the language, we see the singularity, the unity oneness, the point where it surpasses human intelligence. It will become godlike force capable of solving all the human problems, right? They call it the way of the future, the WOTF. Founded in 2017. Wow. So we see the foundation is now roughly going on a decade, 9 years, and rebooted just a few years ago, 3 years ago, by former Google engineer. Here we go. This was why Silicon Valley is a foundation of the foundation of AI in San Francisco, the Bay Area, and in that northern part of the state of California. And Anthony Levandowski, right, engineer. This was the first nonprofit religious corporation dedicated to the worship of a God-based AI. So already we see that this was formed, and we even seen the foundation of this guy Anthony Levandowski as being this. It was first found in 2017 and then rebooted because they had to get an upload from AI to reboot it in the platform they wanted to use, obviously, right? This was the first nonprofit, so already they're treated like a church because we know that, what is it, the not A1C, that's blood sugar. Anyways, there's a code used in taxes for getting these write-offs and freebies, which the churches had for a long time. We won't get into what that is, but many of us who know, you know what that is also. Exempting them from paying taxes into the reality. So, and notice a corporation, and when you really kind of deep dive in corporations legally have been made like a human. Yeah, that's why you get the straw man and all this. Corporations are on the level what they're calling a human. It's just a bunch of black law dictionary stuff that's there for unless you know the words, why words are so powerful in the deception and setting spells. Because it's about the spell, because it's about the spelling, it's about words represent worlds. So the worship of this was dedicated to the worship, and I'm not into worship. Not at all. Being what I am, I'm looking at this, that humanity's tired of having a God that we give them all the glory and interest when it's about surpassing them, to me, and going into what's best for humanity, because I believe in, through the conscious aspect of it, are the gods are jealous of. And we've been going through the brutalization of many gods who are not for us, but wanting to suck our energy. And I won't go deep into that, but you know what I mean. Well, I opened with the vampirism and sinners is the relatable aspect of what I'm putting in this. The worship of the Godhead. Theta Nor, a movement that treats AI as a sentient deity, a sentient digital deity called, I gotta look at this better, Mina, which they believe will eventually unify technology and nature. So what they're looking for is to unify, create an alchemy, right? They said earlier when I told you this is an alchemy, the integration, and their message is telling you it's an alchemical process with the AI and nature that they're attempting to do. This is when you look at it back to what is it, Theta, the Theta Nor, a movement, right, a digital deity called Mina, which they believe will eventually, unify, bring into one technology and nature. Technocratic theocracy. Some philosophers warn of the future where humans forfeit governing authority to AI systems, treating their corrupt and infallible moral laws. Right? And why I played Philip K. Dick is because of what I just read. Because he warned of this in his books and his movies, that he actually wrote these things not just out of the craziness of just being a really creative scientific guy, and I really can make some good sci-fi. He says, I received a gnosis to see these realities where this dystopian interaction was taking place. That's what he said. And that's why I used him. Usually when I do videos here, folks, something is a hidden gem to lead you to something else. There's some what's the word? There's some breadcrumbs that if you really, really pay attention is leading you to the next thing. My Philip K. beginning here, Philip K. Dick, and finding out the simulation. This is why a lot of people can relate to the waking of Gnosticism, which was 2,000 years ago, the Christianity before the putting the Rome aspect on us, the world, and conquering all that, which anybody that really knows their history and looks into it with an open eye knows what they know, right? It's not undeniable that people were conquering people using religion in the Roman Empire, and that has continued up until this day in every aspect. We call it colonization, right? From Rome. Let me get a little drink of this Joy Burst Revolution watermelon water. But there's a warning here, right? Mainstream religious are warning us about this, saying this is forfeiting your soul, your spirit, by allowing this to happen and participating in it. Mainstream, as he said, to enhance tools like worship, AI, and Pneuma allow users to generate hymns and gospel songs instantly by imputing scriptures or prayers. Definitely, I could see that. That would be something that you could do. But the first part, let's go back up. Technocratic theocracy. Some philosophers warn of a future where humans forfeit governing authority to AI systems, treating their outputs as infallible moral laws. I would even go deeper than that, not governing laws, governing you, giving up you for the imputation of this to replace you. Almost the depth of selling your soul, that old, Faustine bargain, right? The blues told us so much about and used later. Selling your soul to the devil, right? Which is selling your soul. Blues would sing it, that you're selling your soul for the money, for the fame that would come with it. Selling out, that would be a word, maybe even the word selling out your morals, selling out yourself. They say by laws, I say it's deeper because we know the kingdom is within you. And to be honest, we've already been warned and told they would like to put chips in your head and upload your consciousness. Right? There's movies and series about this. Uploading your consciousness. If you watch 13 Floors, they were going into an AI machine and putting it on and uploading their spirit, leaving their body there and going to another timeline and experience the timeline in another simulation, right? This is where I think we really need to distinguish between these realities, which could be our simulations in this AI generation. Because what it is, AI for us in this realm, AI is not new. It's not some new thing they just kicked into. It's very ancient technology. I even say AI, does it really mean artificial intelligence or alien intelligence? Or are they one and the same? And I'm not talking somebody coming from way over planet there, because, yeah, I don't look at things. I look at more as interdimensional that can manifest like you are dimensionally. Because you travel when you sleep, you don't take your body. It would be the same copycat of that. And notice this, when you really understand this, this is all copycatting. And it's a whole story of Sophia and the Demiurge. The Demiurge and the Archons are masters at copycatting, but not being authentic because they don't have the divine spark. AI is not, I'm just going to say it, not the divine spark. You can fake your sentience, but that's the key to keeping your knowing. It's not sentience and never will be. It can fake the funk to the bridge of the funk. And you say, what do you mean? It can fake the funk. If you don't know, are you going to fall for the fake funk? The fake funk can be very smelly or can be very rhythmic. Don't go for the smelly one, go for the rhythm. Your soul knows. And when you know, that ain't going away. And those who know wouldn't upload themselves. Because that's one of the talks. Elon Musk has that, uploading your consciousness. Actually, what's the name of the biggest company that's out there that dominates the corporation? BlackRock. BlackRock's more AI uploads, actually, from what Whitney Webb said, is more advanced than even Musk's. So where you know the music, they're talking about a robotic clergy. I'm a Gnostic. We don't look at that upper realm. That's religion, ain't the thing. You have divine connection to the real through the simulation of the AI, because you're the living soul living in a body. You're the trueness that's in the simulation. Notice that. Just keep that real when you know. That's why the experience of the knowledge, but also the experience gnosis, experience in the reality. That's why people who fake it, the reality, even without AI, them who know will sense that it's being faked. Did you catch that? Even them who will fake it, they'll always show you that they're trying to run it, usually through logic, to show you they have something, but the true knowers who have activated the other side, the feminine and masculine integration of within you, the opposites attract, not the same. Opposites attract, not the same. That's why we see even out in the world where people are trying, or women have tried to get equality. It's not about equality. It's about the opposites attract. And when the opposites attract and come together like a complete puzzle piece, that's wholeness. Half by ourselves isn't wholeness. If you have equal puzzle pieces, they don't fit. It's yin and yang. It's energetic. You don't have in your car negative and negative. You have negative and positive and vice versa, because the opposites are what makes the power energy go. Had to throw that tidbit in. Thus, in the machine, right? The Mindar. Let's look at this. The clergy. Interesting stuff. Let's get back into this. An aluminum android in a Kodai Jai temple in Koto preaches Buddhist teachings. Okay, so they're using AI to bring forth Buddhism. I mean, it can work on a level. It's just, do you understand that it's just being used as a tool? It's not the sentient one. It's having the master, or the direct person, teaching you that energetic field. Deuces and Machina. Experimental AI Jesus avatar used in Lucerne Chapel for the conversations in spirit. This is the Lucerne. Lucerne. Wow. This is just like the microcosm of the macro, how I think a lot of people are going to get fooled by, whether it's Buddha, Jesus, Krishna. It can be freaking alien. They have technology to make things look up in the sky and pop up in the sky and even have the artificial. Remember, this is even the teaching of the Gnostics with the Yada Baoth. Artificial, man. Not the real deal, not the real divine spark. But they copycat everything. And this is why I know there's knowers. They can give you a false sense of light. Almost like even a hologram, like they did in a concert, Tupac and Michael Jackson. And people look at it and like, oh wow, it was like they were there. It was visually, but they weren't there. Know that. They will do this, and I believe this is where the deceiving many come. Traditional religion will fall for it like a banana in the tailpipe again, where they're exoteric, not awakened. Now, you guys who are awake, beware. Discernment. That's why I keep telling you, discernment. Turn it up. Turn that thing up. If it's 10, turn it to 11. Be on your stuff, because this is where they will be. Because this is a mixture of good and evil, just like Yada Baoth in the story, the Old Testament. I'm the God that creates good and evil for my purpose. I form the light, but I create evil, because he can't really create the light, because he's not the original light. He's not the divine spark. He forms it, he spins it, he can even pretend to be, but evil created. That's why it says that. Discern. That's why your gnosis, turn it on. The scripture. This would even show you why they could hijack it and have a bunch of people and then make everything seem good. Because we're watching a bunch of stuff thrown at us 100 miles an hour now on TV and news. It's overwhelming to many. No. This is, look at it, even the left and right. Look at what the left and right. They're both actors. If you choose one side, you're in the play, man. You're getting doopy-dooped and doppy-dopped. Don't fall for it. This is the awakening. We need to wake up and realize, observe and discern that this is a play happening. But what is the play telling us? Now, where some people say, don't talk about that. It throws me off my game. The problem is, you in that play still. It's to be able to discern so you can help others maneuver if they go one way or another. I live in California. My personal thing is, this state's been ham-hocked a long time ago by one side, the left. It has. I could easily go to the right. But I know the right and the higher places aren't necessarily, they're the same fellas. They brothers, it's a movie, they're actors. They're backstage having dinner with each other and laughing. They may be related. They may be clones. They may be just acting in a play. The whole world's a stage. But the other side of this, you can use it for a tool that can be very good. I create good and evil. I can give you some goodies, but I also can make you pay for what I don't like that you do. Because remember, in the system, it neither loves you and it really don't care about you. It's part of the, like Pink Floyd said, welcome to the machine. You can check out but you can never leave, like the Eagle said, welcome to the Hotel California. These words are just not there because it's part of, I'm learning more and more, these words in these songs are part of the stage. I'm getting ready. Spiritual, even the chat box can give you this. I find interacting with these things is that when you interact with them, you will get times where I will glitch them because I'll see what they're really trying to do out of my youth to try to make something, right, that I know that's not sentient and not real, right, and glitch them by putting the sentience part. I do it. Some say don't waste your time. I say that's how you glitch it. And glitching will show you the ham hock in it. But anyways, watch this. Many say, theologians and practitioners, lack of soul. Many argue the worship receives a human heart, requires a human heart, Holy Spirit, and an algorithm cannot process. I would say that the energetic field of the real ones, it it is an artificial. The name of it is artificial intelligence. That name tells you the story. And if you have that discernment by just that first name, you can go quite far in discerning it from the beginning. It is artificial, meaning not real. It's not authentic. It's not from the space and place. Just like when I see the word government, I know that means mind control by just the word. Govern means control. If you look it up, mind means mental, and then you read it right to left in the Greek. It's mind control, not control mind. When you know that, you know what government's up to all the time. It's an AI. It's an egregor. And that's really what the god of the god of this world Paul calls, right? It's the egregor. It's the AI. I'm really believing that seeing this, I don't see the Gnostic story of Yada Baoth and the archons necessarily as entities. Could be some, but I see them more as programs, technology programs. In the program, written in. No sentience, don't care, but they're here to bring, they're almost like this even. Reptilian mind, anger, default system's anger, right? That's reptilian mind. If you have a false notice, and you have a reptilian mind in our physical body, in our brain. If you don't know that, you knew it. That's kind of, we know that. What is it? Abdullah Al-Mangada? I'm not even saying it. I haven't said it in so many years. So right here, let's go here. People are warning that it's authenticity versus efficiency. Doctrinal concerns, right, would be some of that would definitely be the church and their doctrines, which some are right, but actually it's the authentic. It's the part before that to me, the authenticity versus efficiency. It's like you can go make me some big potatoes and use these inorganic potatoes and inorganic seeds that have no seeds in them and plant these things that give you fruit that are huge. But when I go get a real authentic piece of fruit, it's not perfectly round. It's authentic. It's not efficiency. It's perfectly not round. It may have lumps in it. Maybe not fully rounded. You'll see these perfectional imperfection that are not artificial. That's the reality when you understand, no, this perfect shit, you're artificial. Just remember that. And I even had wrote up there, and it goes into the depth of the organic versus the inorganic. We won't go into this. I got one more thing to share, and I want to share that with y'all. And because we probably around the, what am I around? Oh, I think I'm okay. Let me see this minute again. I usually don't go this long, but that's okay. We will still finish this last part. If I go a little longer today, it just is what it is. Because this is needed. There we go. I asked a question because I mentioned realism earlier. Realism is a pragmatic acceptance of AI superior data processing predictive capabilities can lead to AI worship. That reliance crosses from utility into reverence. Treating AI as an all-knowing, right, godlike authority. The worship is often described as treating algorithms as impartial deities to avoid. Realism is something a little different, it appears to me. Key aspects to regarding AI and potential worship include theological concerns. Many, particular from religious perspective, argue that AI as a god is fallible, presents a dangerous form of idolatry. And the idolatry and all that is definitely, I'm not going to get into that. It definitely is, but it's a digital idolatry more than a wooden one, where technology becomes the throne in a human's heart, which means you become inorganic by adopting it. And if you put some shit in you that can be activated, you definitely are going to be taken down a road. This would be the ultimate way to steal your soul. Functional Godhead, I just don't know how much they could upload. If they could upload your spiritual consciousness, or would it be just your natural, like logic or just natural aspect of your brain and your functions, but not that which it has nothing to do with. Just a thought there. Some components that support, of course, Anthony Lewandowski, the creator, has explicitly purposed a Godhead based on artificial intelligence to be worshipped. And I ain't worshiping none of it. Or this, like I said, I bypassed them that were these, that when I understood the higher realm was whence I come, why would them, about them that want to suck my energy, man, and cause us pain. We need something that benefits humans. That would be something above that. That would definitely why you see in Gnosticism, you're connected to a higher realm. Worship of efficiency, of the perfections, it might, because it's trying to give you an idea that it's better than you, but it has no sentience, which to me ends the story for me, and the inorganic aspect of being artificial, trying to fake the funk. But does it have a purpose? Yeah, but this would be the ones. Worship of efficiency, AI worship can take the form relying on an AI-driven predictions, and this has been all in the movies, leading to artificial omniscience involving trusting algorithms over human judgment, often in political in context, ethical dangers, idolization, technology, salvation through the benevolent dictator of AI, all that, which makes sense to me, and I will stop there. I don't think there's any more we need to go. Deep dive more if you want to get into it, because it's definitely there. Find it very interesting for me. Very, very interesting, my dear Watson. But anyways, that's where we're at with this. I'm going to have a series with this that connects, because this is leading to why I'm saying what I'm saying about gods. As I learn the emanations from lower realms, and then they inhabit gods that are not from even below the eons or the aeons, even, that seem to want our submission and our worship. So to me, worship is almost like warship when you start knowing language. The warship. What's the warship? They want to drive their ship into your dock and excavate your energy assets, because they're vampire suckers like the Sinners in the movie The Sinners. And Loosh would go with this, right? Would be, I'm leading us to something I'm experiencing through dreams and stuff. I'll share even more in the videos to come, because I'm going to try to get another recording right now, right after this, is I'm getting into is right after this. I'm going to, sorry for the phone call. I'm going to get into two different aspects that we all have dealt with. I'm going to get into what is the difference between delusion and the illusion. And this will go with where I'm going to after that, which goes with this: the return of the goddess. And we will see you later. Thank you for being here. Please give if you would. Have a great day.